you have to understand, the moment I saw her, I knew nothing in the entire biodome was going to be the same again. Cadets from all corners of the galaxy had trained their entire lives to survive deadly encounters, to read predators, to calculate risk down to the millisecond, but they hadn't trained for her. My name is Lauren, I'm a xenobiology researcher at the Interstellar Academy, and what I witnessed that day will haunt me and every cadet who saw it for the rest of our lives. Picture this, 37 cadets pressed behind thick observation glass, trembling, whispering, gripping each other's shoulders for courage. In the center of the biodome, a creature that should have shredded anyone in its path crouched low, its glowing eyes scanning, its jaws snapping, its massive tail whipping through the air, every movement radiating a predator born of a death world. It was a Mariku cub, almost as large as an earth lion but six-eyed, bioluminescent, with claws capable of tearing metal and fangs that had already drawn blood from 3 security officers and a trained warrior who had been sent straight to the medbay. And then she walked in. Her name was Talia, human, tiny by comparison, unarmed, dusty from morning drills, hair tied back in a strict bun, uniform slightly wrinkled as if she'd just rolled out of bed for routine exercises. And yet, she didn't hesitate. She didn't look around for backup, didn't activate stasis shields, didn't whisper for caution. She walked straight toward that apex predator like it was a stray cat on the street. The cadets behind the glass froze, some gasping, some squeezing their eyes shut, certain that in seconds they would witness the death of a human girl who had no business surviving 5 seconds in that biodome. And for a moment, I thought they were right. The creature surged forward, leaves and branches snapping under its weight, 6 eyes locked onto her. The dome shook with its power, and the alarms blared, lights strobing red across the observation deck. And then, with a calm that made my bones ache just watching, Talia dropped into a crouch, arms spread wide, and shouted with a voice full of clarity and courage, "Come here, baby M.O." I swear to you, everything changed in that instant. The Mariku cub skidded to a stop mere feet away, frozen in shock as if the laws of instinct themselves had paused to ask permission. Its ears twitched, its eyes widened, and for the first time, the biodome was silent enough that you could hear the faint hum of the life support systems in every corner. And then, impossibly, it leapt forward, not to maim, not to kill, but into her arms. She didn't scream, she didn't flinch, she didn't even stumble. She laughed. And the cub, this apex predator bred to destroy anything that moved, collapsed onto her like a pet, purring in deep, resonant tones, tail wagging as if it had been waiting its entire life for someone like her. She wrapped her arms around it, scratching behind its glowing ears, whispering gently, and the cadets behind the glass stared in shock. This was a creature that had attacked dozens of lifeforms in the biodome alone that week. It was supposed to be untrainable, untamable, a killing machine. And here it was, trusting, calm, submissive, and affectionate. Instructor Kath finally arrived, mandibles clicking in disbelief, a crystalline form that usually radiated cold authority. She had seen dozens of Mariku cubs in her career, had overseen countless containment breaches, and yet she could not believe what she was seeing. Talia looked up at her casually, still holding the creature, still laughing. Cadet Pixel, the tiny researcher who rarely spoke, finally voiced what none of us dared. "She's from Earth. Class 7 Death World. Humans, we evolved to survive predators, but not by fighting them first. We befriended them, turned them into companions. Pets." The cadets murmured, confused, incredulous. Humans were supposed to be soft, fragile, prey animals from a toxic planet. Yet here was proof that the strangest, most reckless human trait, compassion in the face of danger, was their most terrifying power. Talia coaxed the Mariku cub forward, letting it roll onto its back to expose its belly, a move that would get any other species eaten instantly. And still, she laughed, scratched, whispered, and guided it step by step back toward the xenobiology labs as if she were taking an oversized puppy for a walk. The cadets behind the glass were frozen. Instructor Kath stayed for minutes, watching the human and the apex predator disappear through the airlock, waiting until it sealed, before turning to the class. "No, cadet," she said quietly, mandibles clicking with a weight I had never heard before. "Humans aren't terrifying." And yet, everyone knew she was wrong. It wasn't Talia's strength, her speed, her reflexes, or even her tactical mind that made humans terrifying. It was their compassion, their ability to see fear instead of aggression, to comfort even the deadliest predators, to turn an instrument of death into a companion. That simple, reckless empathy was something no alien species could understand, no matter how advanced, how disciplined, or how genetically engineered. And in that moment, every cadet in that observation deck realized a terrifying truth. The humans had survived not because of strength or weapons, but because they had learned the universe's most powerful lesson, that kindness can tame even monsters. That day, Talia didn't just save a Mariku cub, she redefined what it meant to be human. She proved that when faced with fear, one doesn't always need to fight back or flee. Sometimes, you bend the rules of survival with understanding, patience, and courage. And every cadet who watched her will carry that lesson for the rest of their lives. Humans, fragile as they seemed, were a force the galaxy would never forget. And if you want more stories of humans who defy every law of reason, survive the impossible, and rewrite what the galaxy believes about strength and courage, make sure to hit that subscribe button now, because one click from you ensures you never miss a story where humanity surprises the universe.